Greetings, followers. This is John Demokis, aka Half Man, Half Cichlid. I'm going to talk today about some of the unique challenges with planting a monster aquarium, and in particular, a monster cichlid aquarium. And I think I have some solutions that you'll all be, those interested in planning a monster aquarium, that you'll be interested in learning about. Just a little bit of history. I've been in the hobby for 60 years and failed in many attempts to have a planted aquarium. One of the biggest changes that has enabled my success now is to add CO2. This is my 200 gallon, and this is about 4 or 5 months after I added CO2 to the aquarium. And it's just unbelievable how successful this has been, and made me very interested in expanding CO2 to other aquariums that I have. One of the first problems you have to solve is how to get sufficient CO2 injected into your aquarium so that there's sufficient CO2 for aquariums, in the 200, 340, and I have a 500 gallon, which I may convert to plants at some later time. But in any event, this is the device that I bought and used and have been very successful with on my 200 gallon, and also the device that I've installed for my 340 gallon, which you'll see in a few minutes. First step in the process is to have a second port to attach a second line to for your CO2, in this case for the 340 gallon. So we got two bubblers, one for the 200 to monitor how fast the CO2 is flowing, one for the 200, and also one for the 340. I have a 15 gallon CO2 tank that provides the CO2 to both aquariums. For the 200 gallon, I'm injecting the CO2 into the return line for a Eheim 2262 filter. Here's the diffuser that I showed earlier, and the CO2 hookup, and the water flows from left to right to return to the aquarium. Now we're transitioning to the 340 gallon. I added a piece of tubing with a second diffuser to the return from my sump, and you can see the cloudy CO2 being injected into the aquarium and being distributed with my power head so that it gets uniformly distributed throughout the aquarium and before it has a chance to escape to the surface. It's very effective. By the way, I had to turn it up here so that you can see the CO2. So this is actually more CO2 being added to the tank than there will be once I make the downward adjustment to the CO2. Now on to the 340. One of the nice things about growing crypts and sword plants, for example, in pond baskets is they're portable. These pond baskets were just moved over from my 200, and so it's a way to get instant, beautiful plants. The crypts, by the way, don't get touched by my severums, which is really nice. I've also have a small basket attached to one of the pieces of driftwood. So again, it's a way to get an instant planted tank with these plant baskets that the Crips and again Amazon swords grew like crazy. And I hope you learned something, and it might incentivize you to try planted aquarium, and in particular with your large aquariums, although I would suggest starting with a smaller aquarium first. Thank you. Look forward to your comments.